So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that the first teaser came out for Shrek 5. Now this is more of an announcement teaser to announce that the actress Zaya is going to be playing Shrek's daughter. And apparently from what I heard, this teaser wasn't supposed to be out yet. They put it out and it was rushed out because it was leaked that Zaya was already going to be joining the cast, so they just rushed this trail out, which might explain why the animation looks a little weird. I'll admit that. I don't think it's as big of a deal as everybody else is making it out to be. Like, I'm surprised almost a divided response the animation people like the divided response the animation is getting from fans. And look, I'm a Shrek fan. I love those first two Shrek movies. I didn't like Shrek the Third. I enjoyed Shrek Forever, but still don't think that was great. Shrek 2 is my favorite in the franchise personally. So, I'm a big Shrek fan. For me personally, like the animation looks a little funny, but at the same time, for me, it just looks like it's updated. Like I love how the animation looks in those older movies. The thing is, though, the last one came out like like a few years ago, so I don't think you can have it look exactly the same as the animation did with the older movies. Like I do feel like you do need to update a little bit. And like I said, when it sounds like this trailer was rushed out, and this isn't really even a teaser or trailer; it's an announcement just to say that Zaya is going to be in the movie as one of Shrek's daughters. It's only 40 something seconds, I think, too. I notice like fans lately with trailers, I feel like they like really nitpick now, and it makes such a big deal out of certain things. Like, yeah, that Superman 30-second TV spot, which had like one shot in there of the close up where you see Superman flying, and people will like either hating it, just one shot in a TV spot that might not even be in the movie. And I feel kind of like with this Shrek thing, it's like I feel like people are overblowing like the animation in this trail. To me, like I don't really care that much. Like just give me a good to great movie, and long as by the time the movie comes out, the animation looks great. That's all I care about. Like the movie, here's another thing: the movie doesn't come out Shrek 5 until next year in December of 2026. You still have a lot of time. That's the other thing I think people forget about sometimes is that they still have plenty of time to tweak the animation for the movie before it comes out. Like to me, I was just excited to see the characters again and to come back to this world. Like if you saw the second Puss in Boots movies, it ends in a way where he's going to see his friends, kind of hints that they were going to do another Shrek movie. So I'm just happy to see the characters back in these characters, and hopefully it ends up being a really good, solid, great movie. The next topic I want to talk about is this one I'm really excited about also is that a Punisher special presentation has been announced for Marvel with Jon Bernthal, Cole White in it, which I love this news. I'm a Punisher fan. I think Jon Bernthal, in my opinion, is the best Punisher. No offense to Thomas Shane, Wade Stevenson, and Luke, the actor who played Punisher in the old, like the original Punisher movie. No offense to those three actors. Like I liked Thomas Shane. I liked Wade Stevenson in the role, but I felt like all the Punisher movies sucked. And I do count these special presentations as movies personally. Like you had the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, you had the White Wolf by Night presentation, which they feel like movies to me. Like they're only over 40 minutes, but they still feel like movies to me. Like they feel like they tell a story, a beginning, middle, and end. And I love those special presentations, and they haven't done one in a while. And based on the track record of Marvel only done two so far, this makes me feel a lot of confidence going into this Punisher special presentation that it's gonna end up being really good. And with John Bonham Cole White in it, I love hearing this because it just from when he talks about the character, he just loves the character. And like I said, to me, he is my favorite Punisher. Like I didn't see the Punisher Netflix show. I did see him in season 2 of Daredevil when he was introduced, which I love that half of that season. Like to me, he was fantastic in Daredevil, and I just think he brings a lot of like depth to Punisher more than other actors have. And as someone who's been waiting to see like a good to great Punisher movie, and I understand these special presentations. I can understand some people are saying like these aren't movies, like they don't count as movies because only over 40 minutes. But like I said, for me personally, I do count them as movies. That's why I'm including this in the movie news today. And the fact that he's co-writing it just shows again how much passion he has for this character. And I'm excited for Daredevil coming back. And from the trailers, it looks like he's going to be great in that show again. So I just like to me, I want to play Punisher as long as he can, because in my opinion, like I said, he is the best Punisher, at least for me personally. The next topic is so that one of the two actors from Jennifer's Body, not Megan Fox, but the other girl, she's talking about that they're working maybe on doing a Jennifer's Body sequel. With I'll be honest, I didn't like the first Jennifer's Body. She even talked about how like where were the people at the time, because the movie's become like a cult movie now. But back then when it came out, it wasn't well received critically. Didn't really do all that much at the box office. And I do think it's become a cult movie. Like, even though I didn't like the movie, I can see it's become one of those movies that people have gone back to rewatch throughout the years and become kind of like a cult movie where it wasn't received well, but it's found a fan base. And just for me personally, I just don't have any interest in the Jennifer's Body sequel. You know, maybe if they actually make one and the trailers look good, maybe I'll get interested. But I'm not gonna lie, this news doesn't personally excite me. But I'm happy for Jennifer Body fans who had fun, will love the first movie. So I'm excited for you fans if it ends up happening. But for me personally, this news doesn't really excite me. The next thing is Captain America: Brave New World has made over 340 right now, so it's nearing the 350 area. And I think this movie's gonna tap out at 400 because the word of mouth hasn't been good for this movie. I think it has like a 47, 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a high audience score, but this movie has not been well received. And look, I didn't hate Captain America: Brave New World. I just found it to be very just kind of okay in the middle. Like it's not. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I didn't think it was like a good movie either. It was just right in the middle for me. And you know, I'm not. I'm not surprised it's only made over 340 so far because like I said, I think it's gonna top at 400 because of the word of mouth. And this movie took a big drop off in the second week. It's on its third week now. It had like a 68% drop off in the second week. So, I mean, I can't say this is good for this movie because even though it says it costs 180, I'm gonna guess it costs over 200. Maybe even over 250 because when you watch the movie, you can really feel this movie had a lot of reshoots. Not like pickups or small things. It really felt like a movie with the editing that it felt like, okay, this movie went through a lot more reshoots. And look, nobody knows the truth about how much reshoots this movie went through. But I don't think this isn't a good sign the movie's only made because you also even if the budget is 180, you have to count the marketing budget into this too, which would I think push it over 200 either way. And this really isn't good for a movie that costs this much. Like I don't like I said, I think it's gonna top out at 400. I could be wrong, but based on the word of mouth and how it's doing at the box office, I don't see this movie making past 400. Like I said, I could be wrong. The next thing is that the Snow White live action remake is tracking between 48 and 58. So it's tracking between that range. And I'm not surprised by that. This movie has had controversy with the main lead actress who has said some stupid stuff. Like actors sometimes I think they just need to realize when they say stuff in interviews and you're remaking a classic animated movie. Which look, I'm not attached to the original Snow White animated movie. I wasn't really excited for this movie even before the live action movie was announced. When it came to the idea of doing a Snow White movie, a live action Snow White movie, because I'm not attached to the original animated movie. But even I can admit the main actress has said some stupid stuff when it comes to people's attachments to, when it comes to fans to love for the animated movie and how talking about the animated movie. I do think that's caused definitely a dent in the opening. And the trailers, just I don't think trailers have gotten people excited. Like this isn't a bad like if it opens over 50, it's not a bad, it's it's not a bad movie. I mean, it's not a bad opening if the movie didn't cost so much. Because that's other than this Snow White movie. When I saw the budget, because I think it went through reshoots. The budget online it says on Wikipedia is like two in the 260 something 250 area. And you gotta count in market with that. This opens with that opening. This really isn't good for a movie that costs that much. And I know there's not a whole lot coming out for the rest of the month when Snow White comes out, so maybe you can have legs and the movie ends up being really good. But I just with the budget for this movie and the fact I don't think the trailers have really hyped people up like I haven't loved the trailers and they haven't gotten me excited for someone who's not really a Snow White person. So this movie having kind of like opening like that is what I would it's kind of what I was figuring it was gonna have. I mean, the controversy I think has definitely hurt this movie, and I don't think the trailers have gotten people real hyped up. So then the last topic I'm going to talk about is that Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith is going to be celebrating its 20th anniversary by coming back to theaters on April 25th. Which I think this is awesome news. I like Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. I don't love it. It is the best prequel, but it still has some of those prequel problems that the first two movies have. So it's not something that I will go back to the theaters and see again. Like if it was the original Star Wars trilogy or Rogue One, I'll definitely go to the theaters and watch those movies at the theaters. But as someone who likes Revenge of the Sith, but I don't love it, this news doesn't really excite me. And I'm a massive Star Wars fan. It's just one of those Star Wars movies where I was like, yes, it's the best of the prequels. I like it. I enjoy Revenge of the Sith, but it's not a movie that I can see and say I love, and it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Like I said, if it's the original trilogy or Rogue One, which are the Star Wars movies that I love, I would definitely go to theaters and see it. But I think this is awesome news for Star Wars fans and people who really love Revenge of the Sith. Like I know it's a fan favorite in the franchise for a lot of people, and I think this is great news as if you're someone who loves that movie or if you're just a Star Wars fan. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.